Hi, this is Jeffrey Kurt Financial Group. Today's Monday, June 8, 2026. So we got to talk about last week and with the big sell-off on Friday, but let's put it in context. The S&P 500 was up 21% in 2 months. The NASDAQ was up 35% during that period, April and May. And it's astounding. A historic move, especially in the face of some bad news concerning the Middle East and rising prices and all that. But yet the AI hype, the algorithms, positioning and trading, FOMO, all that just kept driving this higher. And the setup was there. We've been talking about it on the videos about a bubble, and also just how abnormal that type of a move was. And certainly we got smacked in the face on Friday. Across the board on Friday, assets were down. Stocks were down, bonds were down, crypto was down, gold was down. The S&P 500 lost over 2.5% in one day. NASDAQ down 1,000 points for the composite in one day, about 4%. So again, big moves down. Is this the end? I'm not sure. Like last night, Korea was down, South Korea was down 8%. And there's been some other big drops across Asia as well. Today, this morning, as I'm doing this, the U.S. stock markets have stabilized and are a little higher. So maybe we're going to recover. And I think it kind of points towards, again, that setup was susceptible to this kind of a drop. Also, the stronger than expected May jobs report, I think, was the match that kind of lit the spark. And what happened was jobs report much stronger than expected. And then with that plus the possibility of inflation staying higher, all of a sudden the focus became, well, we're going to get rate cuts in the future. Well, maybe not. Maybe we're going to get rate hikes. And this economy and the stock market is not positioned for higher interest rates, even though the markets have been taking interest rates higher when you look at the treasury bond market trading and even corporate bonds and like that. So again, the setup was there, historic sell-off. Where do we go from here? I kind of think that if we stabilize, it wouldn't surprise me for us to go back to record highs. I'm not expecting that, but again, it wouldn't surprise me. I do think there is a shift of what's going on in the structure of the market. Kind of think that maybe some of the leaders that were there in this last 2-month rally, maybe they aren't the leaders coming out if we continue to rally higher. And also, I think, again, there's some quite a bit of pain. Again, Bitcoin was down 20% last week. It's down 53% since October. So those type of things, I think there's going to be a changing of the structure. Also, I think it does point to a longer term that the bubble, I think, if it's still in place, still carries a lot of risk that later in the year, there could be more of these type of volatility spasms and maybe even the top in the overall stock market. This week, an important week, we have 2 inflation numbers, CPI and PPI, and then also the SpaceX IPO, which they're trying to get done, and assume that the markets will stabilize and maybe trade higher because of the IPO for SpaceX. So a lot there. Let us know any questions. A lot going on. It's a very difficult market, and we could try to help you maybe. But thank you for listening, and we'll be back on Wednesday. Goodbye.